This is Mystiques, and today, we are diving headfirst into a shocking incident that's been making headlines across the globe. It's a mystery that unfolds against the backdrop of one of the world's most intractable conflicts, the Israel-Palestine conflict. On the 17th of October 2023, a colossal explosion rocked al-ahli Baptist Hospital in Gaza. Chilling video footage freezes a moment in time that defies explanation. The skies momentarily transform into an inferno as a colossal explosion engulfs the hospital grounds, releasing a plume of smoke and fire that seems to reach for the heavens. Even through the screen, the shockwaves resonate, leaving a haunting imprint in our collective memory. The hospital, once a place of refuge and healing, became a symbol of the turmoil in the region. It was not just an attack on a building, but an assault on the idea of providing care to those in need, regardless of their nationality or background. Hospitals are supposed to be safe zones, immune from the ravages of war, where doctors and nurses work tirelessly to save lives. The horrifying incident at al-ahli Baptist Hospital raised profound questions about the rules of engagement in modern warfare and the sanctity of humanitarian institutions. Inside the hospital, pandemonium reigns. Dr. Fadel Neem, the head of the orthopedic department, provides a harrowing account of the immediate aftermath. He was in the midst of a surgical procedure when a deafening blast sent tremors through the hospital. Panic swept through the staff as they rushed into the operating room, frantically seeking aid for the wounded. Dr. Neem's words paint a vivid picture of the chaos and trauma that engulfed the hospital's corridors. Patients, many already suffering from injuries related to the ongoing conflict, now faced an additional layer of tragedy. The explosion disrupted vital medical care and left medical professionals struggling to cope with an influx of casualties. It's a stark reminder of the human toll when hospitals, places meant to heal, are turned into battlegrounds. In the aftermath of the explosion, accusations and recriminations unfolded like wildfire. Palestinian officials were quick to point fingers at Israel, while the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, presented a divergent narrative. Their intelligence suggested a failed rocket launch by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group as the source of the catastrophic explosion. This blame game is not unusual in the context of the Israel-Palestine conflict. The lack of trust between the parties often leads to quick accusations and counter-accusations. Determining responsibility in such a complex and volatile environment is challenging, further fueling tensions and perpetuating the cycle of conflict. The international community's reaction was swift and varied. Calls for a meticulous and thorough investigation echoed through the chambers of the United Nations. Numerous nations expressed their dismay at the loss of innocent lives and urged restraint in assigning blame until a comprehensive inquiry could shed light on the truth. The world's attention turned to this incident, highlighting the global concern over the protection of civilians and humanitarian institutions in conflict zones. The incident at al-ahli Baptist Hospital served as a stark reminder of the broader implications of the Israel-Palestine conflict and the urgent need for a peaceful resolution. As the world grapples with the perplexity of the al-ahli Baptist Hospital bombing, the enigma deepens with the deletion of tweets and the emergence of divergent proofs that add an additional layer of ambiguity. In the fog of war and amidst the chaos, social media became a battleground of narratives. Initial posts, like the one shared by Hanania Naftali, the digital aide to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, sent shockwaves through the digital realm. He wrote Israeli Air Force struck a Hamas terrorist base inside a hospital in Gaza, but the post was almost immediately deleted. By 10:58 p.m., Naftali apologized for sharing a Reuters report that falsely stated Israel struck the hospital. He explained, "As the Israeli army does not bomb hospitals, I assumed Israel was targeting one of the Hamas bases in Gaza." This abrupt change in narrative further muddied the waters of understanding. A bit earlier, at 9:04 p.m., the Israeli army had published a post blaming the strike on a misfired missile launched by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. PIJ. The accuracy of the footage shared in the post was questionable, as the timestamp indicated it had been recorded 40 minutes after the time of the explosion. This contradiction further adds to the uncertainty surrounding the incident. However, it transpired that the post had been edited, and an earlier version had included alleged video evidence. Yet, in a statement issued on the night of the explosion, the World Health Organization (WHO) pointed out that there had been over 51 attacks on healthcare facilities in Gaza since the start of the conflict, revealing a harsh reality on the ground. The Israeli military itself had issued evacuation orders from 22 hospitals treating more than 2,000 patients in the Gaza Strip, as it intensified its bombing campaign. A senior health official in Gaza told Al Jazeera that Israel had fired 2 artillery shells as a warning at al-ahli Arab Hospital days before the explosion. The multitude of contradictory statements and actions surrounding the incident cast a deep shadow of doubt over the true nature of the tragedy. In the midst of this chaos, one might wonder if the mystery surrounding this tragic event will ever be fully unraveled, or if it will remain forever shrouded in ambiguity. But why is there an unwritten rule, even in the crucible of war, that hospitals must remain inviolable? Hospitals are sanctuaries of healing, beacons of hope in humanity's darkest hours. They are meant to be safe harbors where the ailing and wounded find solace and care. Attacking them is not just an act of aggression. It is considered a grievous breach of humanitarian law. The principle of protecting hospitals and medical facilities in armed conflict is deeply rooted in international humanitarian law, epitomized by the Geneva Conventions. This principle is based on the understanding that even in times of war, certain places, like hospitals, must remain neutral and safe to ensure the well-being of civilians and combatants in need of medical attention. Targeting hospitals is not just a violation of legal statutes. It carries profound humanitarian consequences. The victims are not combatants but innocent civilians, the individuals who should be shielded from the horrors of conflict. Such actions undercut the fundamental principles of humanity and reverence for human life, the bedrock of international law. The impact extends far beyond those directly affected and shakes the moral foundations of our world. The consequences of attacking hospitals are far-reaching. Beyond the immediate loss of life and suffering, it erodes trust in the rules and norms that govern warfare. It leaves scars on communities and deepens the wounds of an already divided region, making the path to reconciliation and peace even more challenging. To truly comprehend the gravity of the situation, we must consider the history of the enduring Israel-Palestine conflict. This isn't just any conflict. It's a protracted narrative, a tale that spans generations, embroiled in historical grievances, territorial disputes, and deep-seated animosities. The complexity of this conflict is backed by complex politics, religion, and identity, captivating the world's attention for decades. The Israel-Palestine conflict dates back to the late 19th century when Jewish and Arab nationalist movements emerged, both seeking sovereignty over the same land. Over the years, the region has witnessed a succession of wars, negotiations, and peace initiatives, but a comprehensive resolution remains elusive. Jerusalem, a city of immense religious significance for Jews, Christians, and Muslims, stands at the heart of the conflict, further intensifying its complexities. At its core, this conflict revolves around competing national identities and claims to the same sliver of land. This land, both sacred and historically significant to Israelis and Palestinians, has become a crucible of contention. The Israel-Palestine conflict, often dubbed one of the world's most intractable disputes, is characterized by a turbulent blend of violence, diplomatic negotiations, and an unyielding quest for self-determination. As we conclude this episode, the mystery remains shrouded in ambiguity. Investigations continue, and the world waits with bated breath for answers. This complex and tragic episode serves as a stark reminder of the challenges that persist in the Israel-Palestine conflict and the paramount importance of upholding the principles of humanity. The incident at al-ahli Baptist Hospital is a stark reminder of the unresolved issues in the Israel-Palestine conflict. As the world watches and hopes for a peaceful resolution, it's clear that the path to lasting peace is fraught with challenges, but the pursuit of truth and justice remains essential to finding a way forward. The bombing of a hospital in the crucible of conflict underscores the intricacies of the Israel-Palestine situation. As we grapple with the unresolved nature of this event, we are reminded of the imperative to safeguard humanitarian values, even amidst entrenched disputes. We will remain steadfast in our pursuit of the truth as we continue to follow this enigma. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay tuned to Mystiques for more mysteries of our world.